want to put this question to you. Do you feel morally superior to the Taliban? Hands up who does. Hands up who feels morally superior to the Taliban. Well, that's a poor showing. There's hardly any of you. Well, I feel morally superior to the Taliban. The Taliban. Do you not feel morally superior to those who, after stroke at the fall of Kabul in 1996, dismantled the health and education system of their country by banning women from working? Sounds like a pretty good beginning to a regime. No more health, no more education. Not satisfied with getting women off the streets, they confined them to houses where they blacked up the windows. So not even sunlight could get through to them, so that they couldn't be seen. The Taliban, who have made a two-day massacre of the Hazaras and other Sikhs and other ethnicities who, in their massacres, didn't jump to slaughter all the animals. Do you not feel morally superior to that? The trouble with us in the West is we've succumbed to a bias paralysis in where we can't even say that we're morally superior. Why can't we?
In February 1999, I raised the question of forced marriages in the House of Commons. It was the first time the issue of forced marriages had ever been raised in Parliament, and this was 99. No one had ever mentioned it before. We didn't even call it forced marriages because we knew we were going to get an enormous amount of flack. I think we called it community relations. I remember all too well the criticism that was levelled at me. I was told by men in particular that forced marriages did not exist, that they were a figment of my imagination, or an excuse to simply demonise the Asian community. I argued and argued for 9 years, and there were times when that was difficult. I was called a racist and all sorts of things, despite the fact everything I said was said to protect the most vulnerable members of the Pakistani community, and to some extent the Bangladeshi community. I'm allergic to the word sensitive. It usually means shut up, actually. All these things you and Cryer should shut up about, because you're causing a lot of problems. I was going to say it's important for people coming to this country to use the language of this country. I don't think it's radical to say that. When in Rome, do as the Romans.
Amsterdam is once again tonight the centre of an investigation into the murder of a famous public figure who'd become controversial for his stance on race. The filmmaker Theo van Gogh, a distant relative of the famous painter, was cycling near his home in Amsterdam when he was stabbed and shot dead. His most recent film had been about a Muslim woman abused by her husband and raped by her uncle.
My name is Mr. Rahman. M-A-Z-M-U-R-R-A-H-M-A-E.
Earlier you said you rested on a daily cartoon protest.
I was in prison for 4 years for that cartoon protest. Holding a placard. Like that wasn't ridiculous. The so-called citizen in one person to murder an unknown persons. So what kind of charge is this?
The people that were arrested outside the NHS Embassy in London, they weren't arrested for what was on the placards. They were arrested for the things they said. So what did the placard you were holding say?
It said something along the lines of, we had those who insult Islam.
Do you see that as a threat?
A statement. Just like you can call for capital punishment against paedophiles. People call for that in the UK and they've never been arrested. The fact is, when Muslims speak, they are arrested. And those who say the same thing against Muslims will never be arrested. Muslims are understated. They completely double standard. Britain believes it's okay for the cartoonist to say whatever he likes. For things Van Gogh, Salman Rushdie, to say whatever he likes. But not for me to say what I like. I have no problem with somebody who says, rock music is the answer. And I listen to them, and I respect them. I'm not going to say you're a fanatic. If I go for Islam, say you're an extremist. That's not freedom of debate.
But in the end, I was on the freedom of speech.
You can't have a debate. I don't believe in freedom of speech. When you have freedom of speech, you can have violence. That's what the clashing demonstration really exposes. The whole world was demonstrated, not just me. From Indonesia to India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq. West need to realise they can't just do whatever they like. What they say has consequences. What they do has consequences.
What are the consequences?
If you want to insult the Prophet Muhammad, you're going to expect that the people are going to rise against you. And there's a line that cannot be crossed.
Who makes the rules?
God. God makes law. God sets them in.
Hello, my name is Sina, and I was born into a Muslim family. I woke up on the 30th of January 1993, and I thought, I've got to go. This has got to be done. So I packed all my bags, got to the kitchen window, threw it open, and then I climbed out, put my boots on, and closed the window. And then I walked round the corner. I turned around and looked at the house, and I thought, my father, the man that held me as a baby and protected me for 21 years, would now hunt me. For one reason, and one reason only. Because I fled a forced marriage. I turned up at Jack's door and went on the run for 17 years. We were married on the Isle of Wight, and the very first phone call I made, after we had left home, to tell them I was okay, my father said that I died the day that I left. And my brother just said, when we find you, you're going to end up in several bin liners. A private investigator and bounty hunter were hired to track me. When we found out that had happened, the police applied for us to get a full witness protection package. We were given temporary names and our birth names were removed off the database. That means you don't exist anywhere. I've actually moved house around 30 times and the police have come out to us. They were the firearms police officers, but they didn't dress up. That would just draw attention. So they come to your house, put you against a wall, and take a mugshot of you and a Polaroid. And that's solely because they build up a file at the local police station. So if you ever call 999 or hit the panic button, because we had a panic button then, they know exactly where you are and what you look like. We were told if you're ever in a hostage situation, you hit the floor. We'll get in whichever way we can, even if that's through your side wall. Whatever you do, don't get up. You will be shot.
I work at the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva. As part of a non-governmental organisation called the International Humanist and Ethical Union. We have been speaking and writing against a UN resolution combating the formation of religion for about 7 years. The concept was originally put forward in 1999 by the Organisation of the Islamic Conference and Alliance of 57 Islamic States. Not only is it no longer legitimate to criticise Islam, we have been told in the Human Rights Council that we are not to mention Islam. We may not use the word Sharia. This is the leading human rights institution in the world, and that attack on free expression is something we have to resist. Because to defend the people who are persecuted by Sharia law, I have to attack the system. If you call your system of law the Holy Sharia, and you're saying to attack it is Islamophobic, you are using religion to restrict freedom of speech. If you go to a Muslim country and start preaching Christianity, which you are right to do under international law, you would be in deep, deep trouble. There is no freedom of religion in these countries. In January this year, Salman Taseer, the governor of the Punjabi in Pakistan, has spoken out in his blasphemy saying, I think it's probably time the blasphemy laws were reviewed. For this, he was murdered by his own bodyguard. A few months later in March, a Pakistani delegate to the Human Rights Council, speaking on behalf of all the Islamic States, spoke about the burning of one copy of the Quran by this idiot pastor in Florida. He made a huge issue of this, as though it was tantamount to another 9/11. He simply saw this lunatic action by one small church as a massive attack by the West on Islam. The burning of one copy of the Quran. But he made no mention whatsoever of the fact a week before, Iranian authorities confiscated and burnt 200 Christian Bibles. A week later, we see 30 UN staff and others massacred by the Islamic mob in Afghanistan. They had nothing whatsoever to do with any disrespect to Islam, but were murdered in protest at the burning of one copy of the Quran by this idiot pastor in Florida. Now this shows you the kind of balance that exists. Do these people really hold the Quran higher than human life?